This is the third and final video of my Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial series in which I am showing you how to edit together a music video. In this video I will show you how to add graphics and text to your video. I will show you how to do some basic colour correction, and finally I'll show you how to export your finished video. In my previous tutorials I covered basic editing techniques, how to sync up audio and video files, and how to add in transitions and effects. You can find these videos here, or the link is in the description if you missed them. If you are interested in getting Adobe Premiere Pro, I have an affiliate link in the description below. It will take you to their website where you can find out more, you can sign up, or you can even try out a free trial. You have the option of getting just Adobe Premiere Pro or the whole Creative Cloud subscription, which will give you access to all the different Adobe software, Animator, After Effects, Photoshop, so much more. I would highly recommend it for anyone who is serious about video editing. The software is fantastic and there's just so much that you can do with it. I've used it to edit together every single video that I've posted on my channel, and I don't know where I would be without it. Okay, so let's get to the tutorial. So to add graphics and text, the first thing we need to do is go to our Graphics tab. This now opens a list of options here in this new right hand panel. So in the Browse feature, you can find lots of different options for adding different types of text and graphics. The one I'm going to use today is just the basic title. So you just need to click and drag this onto your timeline where you would like it to go. Make sure it's not overlapping with any video files on the same layer, or it will delete them. So I'm making sure that it's been placed on a separate layer here. So you can see that the text has now appeared here on top of your video. To edit this text, you first of all need to go to the Type tool here, and then you need to click on the text to edit it and type in what you would like. So I'm going to pop my name in here. If you would like to change the font of the text, you need to highlight the text, so either click and drag or do Ctrl-A to select all. And now in this right hand panel, if we go to the Edit tab, we can now edit our text. So first of all, down here, Text, this is where we can change the font. So we can search for whatever fonts we want. I always go for Copperplate Gothic Bold. So at the moment my text is not very easy to see, so I would like to add a shadow to this. So make sure to reselect your text by clicking here, and then I'm going to scroll down. Here's the shadow feature here. So I'm going to check this box to enable it, and then if we scroll down again, we have some options for customizing the shadow. Here we've got how far away from the text it is. I just want it to be straight behind, so I'm going to set this to 0. You can also increase the size of it, and you can also increase how dispersed the shadow is. So I think that's okay there. Now to increase the size of the text, we have two different options. So once again we need to highlight the text here, and we can either increase the size of the text by clicking and typing in the font size here, or we can use the slider next to this to increase or decrease the font size. We can also change the position of the text up here in the Align and Transition. Once again you want to click and drag to change whether you want it positioned further to the right or left, and this second number you can click and drag to change the vertical position. Another easier way to move the text is to go to the Selection tool here in your toolbar. This now allows you to click and drag and move the text to where you would like it. So say you wanted it up in the top, you can have it here, or if you wanted it down in the bottom or in the corner here, I'm going to put it roughly as central as I can. You can also use this to change the size of the text. Just grab one of the corners or these little white dots on the edge of the box and drag this, and it will change the size of the text as well. Now if we want to add transitions onto the text, we can do. So down here in the timeline, hover the Selection tool over the edge of the graphic, and then you can right click and go to Apply Default Transition to have it fade in, and then add Default Transition to have it fade out again. Now I can change the duration for which this text is going to appear, again by clicking and dragging. And here I'm going to make this shorter. So let's have a look at what it looks like just now. So let's try having it on for twice the length of time and see what that looks like. And you can increase the duration of the crossfade as well by hovering over the end of the crossfade and clicking and dragging to make that longer. Like I described when adding effects to your video clip, you can also click on the graphic here, and up in the top left panel you have all these different things which you can change about the graphic. So again, if you want to have more control over the crossfade, you can do this using the opacity for the text. So you just need to click here to get all the text options, and then you can scroll down and you can alter the opacity if you wanted to control that. So again, you can add in the keyframes if you needed to do that. And finally, if you wanted to change the colour of the text, again make sure that you have selected your text layer up here in the right hand panel. Go down to Fill, click on the coloured box here, and you then have your colour palette where you can choose what colour you want. So you can use the slider to go down to different colours. I'm going to try doing a sort of yellowish colour. Then you can just click to select the shade of the colour that you want, and then click OK, and your text will be changed to that colour. So, speaking of colours, the final thing I'm going to show you how to do today is to add some basic colour correction to your video. So to do this, we need to go up to the Colour tab here. So this video I have selected here is me doing my little talking part at the end of the music video, and this is probably the easiest scene for me to show you how I do my colour correction. Now as you can see in this video here, everything is tinted quite yellowish. My wall's actually green, and you can see that the white keys on my piano are not actually showing up as white in this image here. So you can either select and edit each individual clip itself, or you can go to the source material here in the bottom left panel and select and edit this. And this is what I'm going to do, because if you edit the source material, this is going to affect every single video clip that you have used the source material for in the timeline, rather than me having to go through and apply the changes to every individual clip that I have cut and edited. But you do have the option to copy and paste the effect onto each individual clip if you wanted to do it that way, but for me I just find it so much easier just doing it to the source material. So if I double click on the original video here, it's going to appear up in the top left panel here. I then want to click on this panel to make sure it's selected. So if I now go across to Lumetri Colour in the right hand panel here, if I go to the basic correction and then go to this WB sector, this is the white balance sector. If I click on this little pen here, I can now go across to my video, and I want to click on something in the image which should be white. So these piano keys here should be white. Adobe Premiere Pro is then going to change the colour balance to get this to look more natural. So you can see that this is much more natural looking than what it was before. You can also do this manually. So you can see here is what's happened is that it's changed the temperature from the centre point down to cold, and it's up the Magenta tint here. But you can change these yourself, so you can click and drag the slider. So we can make it warmer again, really warm if we wanted. It's not looking so nice, so let's go back down to the cold. Maybe not quite as cold as we had it. And here you can change how pink tinted or how green tinted it is. So we want something sort of in the middle there. There are other things you can change as well. You can change the exposure, so that's the brightness. But you don't want to tweak the exposure too much or it can get kind of bleached. Other things you can change is the contrast. So do you want more contrast or less contrast? You can also change whether there are more or less highlights. And then you can also increase or decrease the amount of shadows. And this can sometimes work better at brightening up the video than by changing the exposure. You can also increase or decrease the whites and then also the blacks as well. So I'm just going to undo all of these. And the final thing you can do here is you can tweak the saturation. This is a visual effect that you might want to add, for example, in a forest setting to give the colours more vibrance. So I've done this in the past with some of my forest videos, but here for indoor stuff it tends to look a bit weird and your face ends up getting really red looking and the colours can look a bit unnatural. So it really depends on what sort of video you're doing, whether changing the saturation looks good or not. So that's the main things that I do with colour. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do with colour in Adobe Premiere Pro, which I'm not going to go into today, but at least you know that the option is there and that you can get really creative with this. For me, I just try to get my videos looking more natural. Okay, so once you've done all that, the next thing you want to do is watch through your whole video to make sure that there are no errors and that you like everything that is happening, and then it's a case of exporting it. So to export your video, you want to first make sure that the timeline panel is selected, and then you want to go up to File, down to Export, and then Export Media. This brings up the export window. So this little marker here just gives us a little preview of what's happening at these points in the video. So if we go along here, this is the part of the video here, and you can choose if you want to export a certain segment of the video, so we could have it finish here, or we could have it finish where the actual music video finishes, so around here if we wanted. I'm going to of course export the whole thing. So in terms of format, you want to have the format of H.264. For the preset, that is up to you. So there's a bunch of different presets. So you can do match source, high bitrate. This will keep the formatting the same as the format for the first video clip which you dragged into your timeline. But they also have particular settings if you're exporting for Facebook or for Twitter or for Vimeo or for YouTube. Now for me, I am exporting for YouTube. So I'm going to choose YouTube at 1080p in full HD. I didn't film this in 4K, so there's no point in exporting it in 4K, but I did film it in HD, so I'm going to select that. Next, you'll want to click on your output name. This allows you to select the destination that your video file will be saved to and allows you to name the file. If you forget to change this, then your video will be saved in a weird place with a weird name and you'll never be able to find it again. Believe me, I have done it. So once you've selected the location and the name, click Save and it will update the video file name and the video file pathway here. And that is all you need to do here. You now just need to go down here and click Export and it will start exporting it, and this will take a while. The longer the video, the longer it's going to take to export. For me, it usually takes longer to export than the length of the video itself. And that's it, you have successfully edited together a music video using Adobe Premiere Pro. Thanks very much for watching this tutorial. I'll also be doing a tutorial on Adobe Photoshop and how to edit together a piece of artwork for a single or an album cover. I'll leave a link here when that comes out. If you want to see what the final music video looked like for my song Storm of the Vikings, which I was editing throughout this video tutorial series, the link is in the description below to that if you want to check it out. And if you got value from this video, please do drop a like and leave me a comment. Let me know if there's any other tutorial videos you'd like me to create on my channel. Please subscribe for more content like this, and also if you'd like to hear epic violin covers of gaming soundtracks, this is the place to be. Finally, just a reminder, if you're interested in getting Adobe Premiere Pro or planning on getting a Creative Cloud subscription, please do consider using my affiliate link below. It really does help me out and it's at no extra cost to you. Thanks very much again to my Patreon community for their support, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!